Okay, in this episode of Notes, we're going to be going over some of the historical development of our understandings of motion, starting with the beginning of civilization as we know it, and that is with these lovely people called the ancient Greeks. So, motion, as far as the ancient Greeks were concerned, they believed that a force caused motion. And that's kind of obvious to us now, and not everything that the ancient Greeks believed about motion and stuff was necessarily wrong. Some of it was just not completely complete. So they believed in force causing motion. This is the 4th century BC, so a long time ago. And most famous ancient Greek guy that we know of is Aristotle. And a lot of his teachings are what have been passed down and given to us throughout the years. So we've got Aristotle. He divided motion into two types. The first type was what he called natural motion, and we'll discuss that more in just a minute. And the second type was violent motion. So these were the two types of motion that he discussed, and let's get into those. Natural motion. He called it natural motion. Straight up or down motion, and it was all about objects trying to seek their natural resting places. Now, if you were to think back to what you understand about ancient Greece, they had their 4 elements. This is a rock. It is made out of the element earth, and then of course you had water. Forgive my amazing artistic ability here. And you had earth, water, and then there was wind. Sound effects are necessary. And of course, you had fire. There we go. So earth, water, wind, and fire, the 4 elements. And they had a natural order, and the natural order was actually in this order, as I go off the screen there, where earth is on the bottom, and then water, and then wind, and then fire. And all up or down motion, as Aristotle talked about, was because things were trying to get into their natural order. So if I had myself a rock that was up here with a little bit of, we'll say, wind beneath it, so there's a rock sitting up there with wind beneath it, the rock would naturally want to move down to be in its natural location. Now if this rock was a hot rock, so it had some fire in it, that fire is trying to go up, the earth, the rock, is trying to go down, and so that they would oppose each other a little bit, and so that hot rock would actually fall slower than the colder rock would. And so this is kind of the idea of natural motion. Objects were trying to get to their natural position and in their natural space. So that's what they did. So heavy objects would fall because heavy objects were heavy and had much more earth in them. Lighter objects would rise because they had air in them, and air was trying to get up to the top. And so that's the way it went. Circular motion was considered natural motion for the heavens, since it had no beginning or no end, as they believed the universe was that way. The universe was eternal, had no beginning and end, and so circular motion was natural motion of the heavens, and the planets and stars moved in circles around the earth. We call this geocentrism, which is the earth was the center of the universe, and it all came about because of this understanding of the natural motion. Violent motion is what Aristotle referred to as imposed motion. You apply a force to something and it moves. Violent motion was the result of forces which pushed or pulled, and they had an external cause. So the force came from something outside of the object itself. And based off of this, an object would stay at rest unless it was pushed or pulled, we kind of have that understanding now, and it's not completely wrong, it's just not completely right. So we talk about objects would stay at rest unless they were pushed or pulled. Violent motion was that. So since Earth seemed at its proper place at rest, it didn't move. And so that's what led to the geocentric idea. Earth was at its proper place, it didn't move, and so therefore everything else that we observe moving, the stars, the sun, the moon, the other planets, they had to be moving around us, since the Earth, of course, didn't move. And we'll continue in the next video.